Tell us.
Well, Elizabeth, right now 2 people are behind bars, and police say they're looking for a third in connection with those shootings. For others, the focus is on hitting the treadmill and shedding those few extra pounds they gained over the holidays. I'm standing about ankle deep in the water, and you can see it's so dark and so muddy that you cannot even see my feet. As more time passes, makeshift memorials like these are becoming more commonplace here on the Northern Illinois University campus. 11th Street is closed from 14th Avenue to 18th Avenue as police continue to investigate that accident. Well, Elizabeth, a quiet evening was shattered by gunshots late last night in this neighborhood. Police were called to this home for a report of a domestic disturbance. We spoke with several local experts who say the snow that has fallen today is the perfect kind for making snowballs, snow forts, maybe even hitting up some of our local hills here in the area and going for a sled ride. Reporting live in Davenport, Matt Lindner, KWQC TV6 News. Well, Elizabeth, right now there's about a dozen volunteers out here at the Credit Island Bait Shop working to make sure this business is ready for the pending floods. Now you can see the dozens of sandbags surrounding the business. Volunteers have spent hours filling them up and stacking them high, doing everything they can to keep this shop dry.
We can use all the help we can get.
With the Mississippi threatening to spill over its banks, dozens are gathering at the Credit Island Bait Shop, hoping to keep Alan Kump's beloved business from going underwater. The group working against the clock to build a wall of sandbags strong enough to keep the Mississippi at bay.
It's going to go up and go right back down, but at 19 we have to keep, sandbag across the service road here, keep the floodwaters out.
With the river expected to crest at just under 20 feet, this wall of sand will do for now.
And if it was going to go over 20, I was going to go get a semi-trailer and start loading the bait shop out too.
Really?
Can't let that stuff go underwater too. We're preparing for at least for 21, and then if it doesn't hit it, it's better to be safe.
It's not the first time Kump has walled off his business. He did it back in 2001 when the Mississippi spilled over its banks, and it worked so well he's going to keep doing it. He'll have plenty of help as well. Several complete strangers who heard about his need for volunteers on last night's news decided they were going to spend their Saturday helping out their neighbor.
I hadn't much else to do besides work at home, so I figured something to keep me busy for the day and help out. Hopefully help keep the water out of someplace anyways.
That means a lot.
And despite the constant threat of flooding, Kump says there's nowhere else he'd rather have his business.
Where else could you put the bait shop and have the, the location is everything, so we just stick it out.
Now, Kump says he will stay open for as long as this section of River Drive does. Meanwhile, he and other businesses along River Drive still need help sandbagging their businesses. But Kump says if you help him out, he'll provide you with a free lunch. Reporting live in Davenport, Matt Lindner, KWQC TV6 News.
Pulling our kids out of school and picking up and moving once again is awfully hard for a family.
I don't want you to face it.
But Brooke Boysen says if Illinois sells the Thompson prison to the federal government, she will.
We are going to have to uproot our kids from the school that they are. They're both doing incredibly well in school. We're going to have to uproot them, pull them out, and send them somewhere else and pack up and move.
That's because federal requirements are more stringent than Illinois state requirements for prison guards. The feds prefer applicants have at least a college degree. Because of that, she believes the promise of 2,000 jobs for area workers that politicians have been making is a hollow one.
They are so much more strict on things that the people around this area, they're not going to get the jobs. Our guards know what they're doing, if anything, but they're going to be thrown in the lot with everybody else, and they already have 70,000 applicants.
But Harley Lappin, director of the Federal Bureau of Prisons, says that's not necessarily true. He believes if the Obama administration picks the Thompson facility, those who worked at the prison when it was run by the state will have a good chance of working there under the new arrangement.
I assure you the first thing we would do coming in here is have a job fair for the men and women who work in the Illinois Department of Corrections. I assure you they're going to be very, very competitive in competing for these jobs. We look forward to working with them.
Regardless of what's going to happen, Boysen says she hopes the situation gets resolved soon so she and her family can move on with their lives.
I would love to plant our roots here. I would love to say that we have a home, but we don't have a home. We don't have anywhere to call home right now because we don't even know what's happening.
In Thompson, Illinois, Matt Lindner, KWQC TV6 News. On a day when hundreds of running heroes took to the streets, the biggest cheers were reserved for a man who many say is a real-life hero.
It was unbelievable with the people that supported me all the way through the race.
yelling my name. It was unbelievable.
Bob Juarez taking on the Bix course for the 18th time and the first time since he was paralyzed last summer while fighting a fire in downtown Davenport. The people alongside the course not the only ones supporting him, his brother Chris, and more than a dozen firefighters running alongside their former comrade.
He was faster than I was. All the young guys took him, so we came in behind him.
Thomas wasn't alone.
What happened, buddy?
Where'd you go, man?
Bob finished the course in just over 1 hour, 19 minutes.
Nice job. Good job.
Putting him ahead of thousands of others who completed the course, including Chris.
It was a good start, but he lost me halfway through. But otherwise, he got me back out here, and now I know what to do for next year.
Bob says the hardest part about rolling the 7-mile course wasn't coming up the Brady Street hill, but coming down it instead.
My hands were burning. They were literally burning, smoking pretty good, and it was tough, but I just had to make sure I wasn't going too fast.
Good job out there, man.
At the Bix, Matt Lindner, KWQC TV6 News. Streets that would normally be filled with cars this time of day are now filled with something completely different. Take a look behind me. We are in unincorporated Louisa County, where a very unusual sight, even for an area dominated by farms. There are pigs roaming around Highway 99. Their owners were forced to evacuate as the Iowa River rose. Neighbors who live nearby say the farmers in this area tried packing as much as they could, but were forced to leave their beloved pigs behind to fend for themselves. Now, those same neighbors say they have done what they can to help those animals out, but since this area is virtually inaccessible, there is only so much they can do, and these pigs will be left to fend for themselves until the roads reopen and more help can come in here. We are in unincorporated Louisa County. Matt Lindner, KWQC TV6 News.